Today is seed sorting day. So if you want to know the best performers from my yard as well as all the new varieties I'm growing, go ahead and get you a beverage, maybe a pad and pen so you can write down anything you find interesting looking. And let's get started. Hey y'all. I thought today, since it's about freezing outside, and I don't want to be out there, that I would do a seed box clean up, clean out, and start planning the 2026 garden. And that may sound crazy to, half of the country because I know that y'all are under snow, but where I live in Zone 9A, we actually start all of our pepper seeds the last week of December. And we start our tomatoes and everything else the first week of January. So I've already placed 2 pretty decent sized seed orders for new things for next year, but I have a pretty big box of seeds. I'll show it to y'all. I need to clean out. I also need to reorganize because I have a lot of my fall things still hanging around outside of my box. So I need to get that all in there. I'm also gonna just kind of go over maybe the stars of the garden this year. We definitely had some really good wins. I'm always afraid to show y'all this box because it is very chaotic looking. If you've seen some of my older videos, you've seen it. But right now, because I've been in the middle of succession sowing, things are kind of just everywhere. So let me go ahead and open the box and then I will show you up close the madness. So yeah, it's a little bit chaotic, but I kind of know where things are, but I need to just sit down and figure out the next set of plans. So as it currently stands in my yard, I have 108 spots in my raised self-watering, self-wicking beds. Unfortunately, I know that towards the end of last spring or end of the summer, 2 of those beds started to show signs of bacterial wilt, which I have in my soil here, the bacteria Ralstonia solanacearum, which makes it impossible to grow anything in the solanaceous family. So tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, ground cherries, peanuts. There's like so many things. There's so many host plants that bacteria kills, not just solanaceous family, but so many things. And so that's 18 spots right there that I know I really can't or really shouldn't try to put tomatoes or peppers in, because at this point of the year, December 1st or the first week of December when I'm filming this, I'm always torn. Do I do more cool weather crops like more brassicas, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, okay? Or do I let the space rest and then roll it over in the spring? Like I mentioned earlier, there's really only a 3-week window for rest if I so choose to. But since I don't think I really should put any of those solanaceous family style things over there, I am thinking about starting more brassica seeds. In particular, one thing I had trouble with this year is heading cabbage. I did fine with the Chinese cabbage, but I don't think I had any of this or this come up. I have one of these right now growing, one of them. Now these seeds are old, they're a couple years old, and that may be why the germination just wasn't great. Also, I only have, I think, one of these that took off. So I am thinking about starting more of that. And I have here, I swear, I'm trying my hardest this year to be like the good little gardener. I'm gonna go ahead and just make a list of things that I think I should try. My box here, this little section there's like little inserts. I don't know if you can see it. There's like little walls. Let's see. This little section is all of my cool weather crops. It's all in one section because for the longest time I did not have a fall garden, which is quite silly, but I didn't, and now I do. But I am gonna make a quick run at my tomatoes. I need to make room, really, essentially, for my seed hulls that are gonna be coming in. I don't really think or feel confident that I'll have enough time to start more Brussels sprouts. And because my yard is gonna be transitioning, in addition to the 108 spots in my yard, I also have 12-ish, maybe a little bit more, grow bags on the back wall of my fire pit. And that's all going to become hydroponic systems. So because the grow bags as well started to show signs of wilt. We have a huge squirrel presence here, and the squirrels are going to do what squirrels do, and they go around and they dig in my bags and they dig in my beds and they bury their nuts or their whatever, and it just gets to be, you know, you're fighting a losing battle because they also dig in the ground. So then even though my beds are not open to the ground or my bags are up high and not touching the soil, they're digging, they're still putting their that bacteria, they're basically just contaminating my beds and my bags. Now, looking over my spring things, there's definitely some things that grew last year and did amazing. And actually, I got to the first section in the back here. Let's see if I can. And just so you're aware, I mean, if you've been following any of my recent videos, I had clavicle surgery, so I did not carry this box to the table. My very strong teenage son brought it out for me this morning so that I could sit here and do this. So I'm going through real quick. I saw the eggplant batch. I'm kind of all over the place today, but I'm trying to see. I know I ordered one type of eggplant seeds, but these did really, really well here last year. So if you're about to place a seed order or you're looking, these were a really good producer. This also did really, really good here. So the Ping Tung Long, I think I ordered another pack of Italian Long without looking. See, this is why it's so important. You clean out your box before you do your seed order, because that probably happened, but that's okay. I will just have to plant extra of those. So that's in good shape. Okra is pretty much okra. I don't grow it every year. I didn't grow it last year. I'll probably grow some this year because we have the homestead property with the 3 acres that I can go play with if I so choose. Corn's another thing that I didn't grow. This whole section right here is all flowers, which I'm not going through because I just did like flower starting videos not that long ago. Oh, here are my peppers. So this box, well, this section is my pepper section, and I'll go through here, see what we did. Carolina Reapers did really good here. I live, I don't know if I mentioned it already, Zone 9A in Southeast Louisiana. We have a lot of hot months during the summer. So our hot peppers typically do okay, and the smaller the pepper, the better. Tabasco does really good here. And then I have some that I didn't really open, and some that are really old. Like this I didn't go, I swear. Okay. I have here fish pepper, and I didn't grow that this year. And I just realized I ordered more of these from another company too. So this is gonna be a fun spring. These I grew this year. They did perform quite well, both in my beds and hydroponically. But I will say this, I grew a lot of variety of peppers, and I wasn't really too focused or noticing the flavor of the peppers. I started a bunch of plants for friends and family, and I did get feedback from one of my friends that they found that the plant produced, but it wasn't really flavorful. So I'm gonna try it again and maybe isolate it next year and try it on its own to see if it does well. I definitely don't need more Jimmy Nardellos. Poblanos, I'm still trying to get a really big one. I did end up with some large poblanos, but this I attempted to grow here. I think I got one. I don't know. It's like, I believe this is a drying pepper, Pasilla Bajillo. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be one of the ones you dry and then rehydrate for like Mexican cuisine or Southwestern cuisine, something along those lines. But I had one plant grow and then I only got one fruit off of it. And by that point, purple bell peppers have never really performed for me here. They stay really small, as you can see in the picture. Maybe that's how they're meant to be, but they don't ever really do well here. Shishito I did not plant last year, but I am going to plant this year, so I'm going to add that to my pile of things that I will be planting. And what I do is, as I'm organizing them, I start moving the things I know I'm going to plant or start in the next few weeks. I move them to the front of the pile. And that way, when I go and it's, you know, seed starting day, this is part's already done. The hard part, the sorting part's already done. I can just grab it and move on with it. I didn't do lemon drop this year. I attempted cayennes. I had a yellow and red blend from another company. I believe it was Botanical Interest, but it didn't. It just did not. So I'm going to attempt these again. These seeds are from 2020. So what I'll probably do is start all of them, just because I can't imagine I'm going to get a whole lot. This is what the lemon drop looks like. Obviously, I have 2 packets of seeds from different places because that's what I do. I have 2 cayenne packs from 2020. So apparently I've always had issues with sorting things before I buy. This performed super well. The hot pepper Thai, big Thai. I got this from like Home Depot off of one of the little seed stands. Let me just tell you, you really only needed one of these plants. They produced not only all through the summer heat. We've had one night 29 degrees. We've had another, we're hitting freezing, you know, tonight, today. Temperature's supposed to drop all day long. These plants took no damage. I was blown away by that. I will start one of these next year if I don't manage to overwinter the one that I have out there, but I always start jalapenos. This is the blend I tried to grow this year that just did not do well for me. It was the yellow and reds. I may try it again. Granted, those seeds are newer. I grew these, the Italian pepperoncinis, but I'm not gonna lie, my peppers never looked like this. My peppers never even looked close to that, so I don't know what that's about. I'm just now looking at that picture like, wait a minute. I've harvested peppers off that plant, but that's certainly wasn't what it looked like, so I'll do that again. Big Jim, I've grown him in the past. I don't know how much I actually got off of that. I'll add you to the list. Serranos are a must. This is my packet of Serranos. It's my old seeds that I saved from 23. And then Sugar Rush Peach. This is one that grows very prolifically here too. If you're looking for something that produces well, it is spicy. It's not nearly as bad as some things can be, but it's got heat to it. But it does make a really good hot sauce because it's got fruity notes. I may do these again. I didn't do them last year. I may. Cabonadas. I didn't grow these last year, but I grew them before. These also performed really well, and there's no heat. So you get the floral fruity notes from the pepper, and it goes well when you want to make a hot sauce or a pepper blend, a spice blend, but you don't need all of the heat that comes with a habanero. These are a nice kind of filler pepper because you still get it. I grew these one year. They grew well. My only issue is they were always kind of small. They never got really big, like smaller than a jalapeno, but the same shape. And for me, it was too much to process them down. If you want to do a lot of fresh eating with a sweet pepper, because these aren't spicy, if you want to do a lot of fresh eating, then this would be a way to go. It was prolific. It's just 99% of my fresh peppers get processed down, chopped up, put in the freezer, whatever. So it's just not a necessity. This I've tried to grow several times. I am not very successful. I think we get too hot down here for this guy. I'm not sure. I may add them to the list for this year just because I can, but I don't know. And again, I have another Purple Beauty. Now these ones look like they're supposed to be bigger, but I don't have luck with purple. Maybe I'll try it again this year. This is just a basic bell. I do want to grow some banana peppers this year. I did not grow them last year. Oh, and this is what a serrano looks like. I know I had my own pack of serrano, but serrano peppers. I love growing serrano. I use them for one reason and one reason only, and that is in salsa. I just find that they make the best salsa. Can't explain it any other way. Generic sweet peppers. I'm obsessed with trying to find the biggest and best bell peppers that I can, so I am always on the search. If you have any recommendations for, you know, big old sweet bell peppers, let me know. I am not above buying more seeds. My husband's gonna watch this video and roll his eyes so hard, it'll be hilarious. This is just a generic bell. These I grew this year. Sweet Moruga. They are spicy. They did grow well. I will say this, the germination rate was not great. But from the one plant that I actually got out there and kept it alive, they performed abundantly. I don't know if I will grow it next spring simply because it's still growing right now. I still have them and can harvest them, and you know, it's not a necessity to grow it again. That word didn't sound right at all. I've grown this one in the past. It's more ornamental. I think you can use it, but again, the fruits are so small that it's not worth my time to process. But the foliage was really pretty. I mean, this does say on the back that it's ornamental, so I really think it's just meant to be ornamental. And these are peppers I've had now for a while. I didn't grow these last spring because I grew them the spring before, and again, they were very abundant. It was white Thai, anything in the Thai family. Black Thai, white Thai, and then I've got some Aleppo I didn't do this year. Dragon's Toe. Dragon's Toe I did this year. I kept calling these MG Leopolds. It's MG Leopard. Oh, that is so embarrassing. I've been calling these the wrong name all season. This one is definitely still growing outside. Super prolific. It is spicy, so you have to be into the heat for that one. And the Mad Hatter I also grew this year, and that one I think is still growing outside too. I don't have it. I flip-flop. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but like some springs I focus a lot more on sweet peppers to stock my freezer, and then other springs I focus more on hot peppers to stock not only my freezer but also to make hot sauces and pepper blends, pepper flakes, things like that. So now I have some very old pumpkin spice jalapeno seeds that need to probably get planted out this year because I don't know what the germ rate's going to be. But these I have grown before. If I'm being honest, they produced, but I don't remember them being like super prolific. I typically will always resort to, again, I'm always on the hunt for like a good bell pepper. This is the Carolina Wonder. I've never really had good luck with that one. Again, another purple that stays really small. If you're into snacking peppers, that may be your jam. And then I have a Sweet Bell Orange. I may grow this year. I didn't grow it this past spring. And then of course, Ancho Poblanos. I will try again. I will be on the quest yet again. So these ones I know are going to be definites. Now, like I said, I do have a seed order coming in with peppers and all kinds of things. So I will be updating that. That is the peppers for 2026, as well as some things that did well. Okay, so I shifted over a little. I'm a little hunched over, but I think you can see the box better and kind of the situation that I find myself in. Here we have just our melons and our corn. I don't have a large section for this, it's pretty small, but that's really because up until us buying the 3 acres, we really didn't have the space in this yard. Not to mention the squash vine borers are an absolute troll here. I mean, they are an absolute mess. So things like that don't normally survive. So now I'm gonna move into a bigger section, which is my tomatoes. Tomatoes is like the holy grail for me. And I'm trying to get all of my seeds out. It's a lot. It's a good bit, you guys. It's like a good bit. I'm trying to like get it to where you can actually see it. So tomatoes is something that I always overgrow. And this is it's kind of like peppers, where I have a year where I do, sauce varieties. Last spring, I was focused a lot more on sauce varieties. This year, I think I'm gonna try to do a balance between slicers and sauce varieties. All right, so I have organized these into tomato types. I know not everybody grows every type of tomato, and I'll put chapters down below if you're just curious. Embarrassingly enough, I've come across a whole stash of seeds I never even planted. Even though this one's open, the actual seed pack inside is not open. So I'm going to have a ton of new varieties this year because I also ordered a ton of new tomato seeds, but I'll go over those in a minute. I want to talk about the ones that I've grown that do work well. The first type of tomato that I'm doing is Determinates. So these are the ones that kind of set their fruit and all at once, supposedly. I'm not gonna lie, last year I planted a lot of Determinate plants and they produced and produced and produced. And I kept waiting for them to die. There's several videos where I'm doing garden tours and I'm walking around and I'm like, isn't this supposed to die off? Like, we've already harvested a bunch of stuff. Like, when does it die, right? Like, when does that happen? But not gonna complain about successful tomatoes. So I've done the bush steak. Again, anything that you see with a burpee on it, like from that company name, I got that at Home Depot. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think I've ever actually placed an order through Burpee directly. I normally find their prices to be a little bit high. It's my personal opinion. I'm sure people feel differently. I have a Bush Early Girl. This one did okay. Mountain Merit didn't do as good for me, so I don't think I'm gonna bother. I've grown the Ace 55 a few times in my yard. Again, it does okay for what it's supposed to be. And then I have here Red Pride. Now moving into paste varieties, these are a mixture of both determinate and indeterminate tomatoes that I have grown over the years. Again, a lot of them didn't die, so I'm on the fence. Is it worth to even bother planting determinants, or do I just stick with indeterminates? The Roma, I mean, that's a classic, right? Everyone, I think, who's grown paste tomatoes has heard of Roma. I've got all kinds. I've got the Italian one. I've got hybrid varieties. I've got all the things. They do all right. I can't really say they were super abundant for me in the paste family. San Marzano. San Marzano I've had better luck with in years past. These seeds are super old, but I will probably plant them out. I don't even know how many I have in here. Yeah, I've only got a handful in here, so I'll plant those out this year. Amish paste, similar. I've had years where Amish paste does nothing for me, absolutely nothing. And then, seasons where last year they did really, really good. Now, I don't know if it was from that pack that I planted from. That's another Roma, again, another Roma. Cream sausage. These ones, it's right, I have two of them. I have 2 packs of the cream sausage. I got them from 2 different companies. The first time I tried growing them from Botanical Interest, I did not get anything to happen. I tried in my gardeners, I had better luck. I think I went back to Botanical Interest seeds this year and I had a bumper crop. Bumper crop. They're supposed to be determinate. produced well beyond what I would have expected. So I want to just say up front, I don't think it's the seed companies at all. I'm just telling you the truth about what I've experienced. I don't hold the seed companies to that. The only time I would hold a seed company to something is if the germination rate is just really abysmal. And I'm not talking about on 5-year-old seeds. I'm talking about brand new seeds. Like, I have had that happen. I had that happen one time with a very famous seed company that a lot of people, including myself, buy from, and I had a whole pack of seeds and like maybe 2 came up, and that wasn't kosher to me. But other than that one experience, and that doesn't put me off from buying seeds with that company. I will again. I've been this far into gardening that I trust my ability to grow things from seed. So unless I have a major issue, I've grown this one before. It's called Gilberti. Honestly, it's been a few years since I've grown this one. So I'm gonna give it a go. Yeah, this was 2020. So it's been a hot minute. Maybe nothing really good came out of it. I don't remember. But if you've got experience with it, I actually have a good bit of seeds in there. If you've got experience with Gilberti, let me know, because I'm gonna give it a go again. I really am. Tomato red sausage. I mean, there's no actual picture on that, but picture the cream sausage, but in red, because that's basically exactly what it was. It was the same shape as that fruit, just red. It did okay. I'm gonna give it a go again this year. That was my first season growing it, was last season. And I always give things several seasons, probably more than what they're owed. This one by far exceeded my expectations, and I will 100% be growing it again. It's the garden paste. This was actually the one I chose to grow for fall tomatoes, which have set fruit, and we just harvested one in my last harvest video. So I'm looking in there. Yeah, we've got enough seeds for me because it is a hybrid. So I don't typically save seeds from the hybrids. I just order those new. And I also try not to grow too many hybrids because I like to save my own seeds. So that's the paste varieties. Garden paste, they just blew me away. The amount of fruits, the meatiness, the flavor, it was all there. It was all there. So that is the paste that I'm going to be growing. Move into my cherry varieties. Full disclosure, I do not grow cherry varieties anymore. I have all these seeds. We'll see. I say cherry. This is also a pear. This one's a pear. This is a pear that I have not grown before. So I will grow it. I think this was a gift. I'm gonna put it in the grow pile for this year. But I also have this one to try this year. It was free, and I'm gonna give it a go. I also have tomato honeycomb hybrid. I'm not familiar with this, and I'm actually trying to see. I don't think I've grown this. It doesn't feel open. Oh boy, this video has turned out to be a whopper. So I'm gonna put that in the grow pile. My husband, as much as he's not a fan of the cherries, we're gonna be trying some cherries. I have a very generic large cherry. I think I've grown this once just to try it. I have tried the super sweet 100s. They just have nothing on Brad's Atomic Grape as far as I'm concerned when it comes to sweetness. I do have these Tommy Toe tomatoes and Tiny Tim tomatoes, and these are supposedly meant for small growing areas. I also have Cherry Falls. Now, this looks open, but I don't have really a recollection of this. It's not open. It's not open. The top's open, but the actual seed pack is not open. Okay, so this will have to go into my have to try pile. I think what I was drawn to is that I have a green stalk outside that I don't absolutely love. That's like a whole other video that I could make. But I do have some small places and even some flower pots that I could put this in. I have Gardener's Delight. I swear, if this one's pretending to be open but not really open to, I better just shut this video down before my husband, oh my. Okay. Okay. So this one also was open but not opened. I don't know why I was opening them. So look at them maybe? I don't know. Okay. So we're actually gonna be growing a ton of cherry tomatoes this year. That's good thing I've got 3 acres I can put things out at. But by far, my most favorite, and I've said this already, but it's the Brad's Atomic Grape. This is the one I have growing in my hydroponic system right now. I love absolutely every single thing about this tomato. I love the colors. I love how vibrant it is. The more sun the tomatoes themselves get, the cooler the colors are. But this was the tomato that actually made me realize I like tomatoes. Before gardening, I would never buy tomatoes from the grocery store. I just didn't like it, or I thought I didn't like them. And this is the one that truly changed my mind. That is my cherry tomatoes. I'm, I guess, a little shocked by my paste over there, my cherries over there. I'm a little shocked that I had so many that I had ordered and didn't open. At least in that category. Now, I do have these seeds I will be starting, but not for me. These drove me absolutely crazy. It's the currant tomatoes. They're like really tiny. But my brother's girlfriend, I think, just started buying these from Trader Joe's, and she loves them. And so I've got these seeds, and they're old, from 2020. When I gave them a shot, they grow great. I mean, they grow all over the place, but for me, I didn't know what to do with them because, again, I process most of my tomatoes, but she eats them fresh in salad. So what I'm going to do is actually start these seeds. I give her a few plants every spring, so I will start these, but I'm starting them for her. Now, my slicers. This category, I'll go over the ones that have always grown really well for me, and then I'll go over the new ones that I have that I haven't even from last spring that I didn't open. And I've already placed an order for new varieties this spring, so I'll be in trouble. Anyway, Black from Tula. Black from Tula does really well here. It typically continues to produce into the summer. None of my slicers really produce all summer long. I'm not gonna lie and send y'all off on some, you know, oh, this is really heat tolerant. When you hit July here in August in Southeast Louisiana, I mean, a slicer is gonna struggle. But these last longer, I should say. These varieties have lasted longer and produced longer into that season for me. Another one is Cherokee Purple. I have it in a Ziploc baggie because I have my own seeds, if you can see that. I don't know if the light, the glare. My own seeds that I've saved in there. Oh, this one. This one I have to grow every single year. And I have seeds for him from my big boy, Mr. Paul Robeson. He was my first ever 1 pounder tomato. And so now I grow him just because, I mean, I have to. It's just totally symbolic. This is the, I'm gonna butcher this, Coastrally. It's supposed to be kind of a fluted, ribbed tomato. The seed packet is open. I don't think I grew this last season. I think I grew it the season before. I don't remember it being a super good performer all season or into the season, but I'm gonna give it another go this year. Every year we learn and grow. I have here, you belong in that pile. This technically belongs in the haven't opened yet pile either, but this is just a genetic, nope. This is just a generic beefsteak. This performed really well, the pineapple. Pineapple did really well here. I grew that last spring and will absolutely grow it again. This I have grown for years. Also does really, really well. And it's the pink Berkeley tie-dye. Or Berkeley tie-dye pink. It would probably help if I could talk. So there's that. grow those every year. They're just really cool. They're just, if you look at the colors, like can you see the green and the stripe with the pink? It's just really a cool looking tomato. And this one too. Hillbilly did really well. Grew massive fruits. Yeah, I mean, it says 1 to 3 pound tomatoes. I got that this past year easily. If you look at my tomato harvesting videos from early on, I mean, they're probably a little cringy because it was like very early on into YouTube for me, but if you look for that, you'll see just the size of the tomatoes in general. This is more black from Tula that I saved from my own yard. Black brandywine. Let's talk about the brandywine family. Black brandywine does grow well for me. There's no picture on here. I remember when I first started gardening, they said pink brandywine was the hardest tomato to grow. I mean, okay, I guess that's all subjective. And I picked up a plant from a nursery and grew it and got massive fruits. So that's when I learned never to be afraid of what anybody tells you is going to be super hard to grow. Just put it in the ground, see what happens. And if it doesn't work, start over. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. But now I grow all the brandywines, and in fact, I think I have ordered an orange brandywine that I've never grown before, and those seeds I'm waiting to come in. But I do grow the black brandywine. Do the brandywines peter out earlier than other things? Yeah, depends. Depends on where they are in my yard, quite honestly. So if you're really tight on space, then maybe you want to look for a hybrid. If you've got the space, grow them. Triple L crop. This one did okay. Last year was the first year I ever really remember getting a harvest. I've tried growing them before and didn't remember getting a whole lot. But I'll give it a go again because, like I said, everything gets a couple of times. Dr. White Cheese Yellow. I have absolutely grown this several times. It grows well here. It grows big fruits, typically over a pound. Now, when it comes to slicers, are you going to get a ton of, fruits? Probably not, unless you're growing some level of a hybrid. But I tend to look at my slicers as more as a delicacy. You're not going to get a ton of them, but when you do get them, it's just nice to have. And then you get your tomato sandwich, and that's all there is to it. Tomato sandwich is a necessity. It's how we basically reign in summer down here. Now here is the list of all ones from last year I haven't tried yet. So if you have any level of familiarity with these, yeah, let me know, because I haven't. So I'm excited, but I'm gonna need a lot of space in my yard for tomatoes. So we have the Bodacious Hybrid. Got this, like I said, if it says burpee on it, I got it from Home Depot, so anybody can go to a box store and pick this up. It says it's a large producer, 10 to 12 ounce fruits and 8 to 10 fruits a week. Well, let's see if we can keep them to their word. This one, I'm not really sure what it is. It was, I don't know if it was free or how I ended up with this. It's called Tomato 42 Day. I think it's meant to just be a early producer for you, so we'll go with it. This is a packet of 5 seeds, so let's hope I get one of these. This is Saucy Lady, which again, there's no real picture, but it was meant to be a sauce tomato hybrid, and last year I was really big into sauce tomatoes, so I will give it a go and we will see how that does. That was actually probably in the wrong pile, but okay. And then again, I have these beefsteak, like generic beefsteak, I don't know. This tomato I've been waiting to grow for forever now, I feel like. I've been watching people in my local gardening groups grow this, so I'm really excited. It is the Sarreloy. I butchering that, I'm sure. It's a large beefsteak, averaging 10 to 24 ounces each. I really, obviously, I'm growing this for the color. I mean, come on. What else would you do with that? I have a Country Taste hybrid. I've grown Country Taste before, but this is a Country Taste hybrid. It's not been opened, so I will give that a go. I remember Country Taste. Country Taste itself did pretty good here. So a hybrid I would hope would do even better. But that's another large beefsteak one. Then I've got this one, True Beefsteak or Fiji Improved. Again, never tried it. I really liked the color. That's what I was going for. I was looking for kind of a terracotta. I don't know, hopefully that's true to that. I have a Goliath Original. Again, I've grown the Italian Goliath in my yard before. I didn't pull it out because I knew I had these seeds, so that's one that I know I'm gonna be growing. I have an Aubergine pink, if you can see the name. That one, I believe, that one and this one I both picked for their colors. The Ananas Noir, Black Pineapple. So those two I know for a fact in the catalog or on the computer, wherever I was when I was looking at this, I picked them specifically for their colors. This is a classic beefsteak. I'm gonna give it a go. I've not grown anything that calls itself a classic beefsteak. You can see I've got a few varieties that do. So I guess we'll see if there's any difference between them. 1 to 2 pound fruits, good old fashioned tomato flavor. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And then this year, I'm also trying out Orange Jazz. I will be interested to see how these do. Normally the colored tomatoes that I grow are Chef's Choice. I've grown all of the Chef's Choice colors. Chef's Choice By, Chef's Choice Orange. I believe there's a pink. I've grown them all. Whatever colors they had, I've grown them all. And they do grow well here, but I believe they are all hybrids. And I'm trying to see if I can move into more heirlooms that have color to them so that I can save the seeds. Because it does get expensive trying to buy hybrid seeds. Let's just be honest. It does get expensive. I'll show you real quick. I do have some new cucumbers to try next year. Space Master 80. But out of all of my cucumbers that I've ever grown, and I've grown obviously a ton of varieties, I've never had a problem with cucumbers not growing. I end up with so many. It just depends on what you're looking for. You know, are you looking for a pickling one? If you're looking for, you know, another one, a little muncher. I tend though now to lean into the more of the like the English variety looking. I know they're not a true English. I don't think they're a true English cucumber. But last year I grew the Suyo Long, and that's primarily what I grew. And I had a ton of fruit, like way too many. This year I may go back to Tasty Green. I may do a mix. I may do some Suyo Long, some Tasty Green. I know I'm gonna get a ton. This one, I think I got the Space Master because I believe this is a bush variety, and I actually got it from my greenhouse. So, because at some point during the year, towards the end of summer, we really deal with, is it pickleworm? They're just so annoying. And then they get in your fruit and then it's just nasty. So I have these very specifically for my greenhouse for when we get to that point in the year where it's, you know, I just don't want to deal with any of that. So that is pretty much where I'm at right now with what I'm growing. I feel pretty good about the situation. I'll be doing a seed unbox or seed haul video once I get in what I've ordered. I'm still waiting on several seed catalogs to come in. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe people will think I'm nuts when they see this. Yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in seeing how this all plays out for the 2026 garden, I encourage you to subscribe. And until next time, stay blessed.